anyone with movement impairments or whatever, now everyone is closer to the same playing field because it's just your cognitive recall of whatever. Like it's just the trivia. It has nothing to do with physical therapy. Now, of course, there's some socialization and that could be beneficial, but it would help.
Brings up a good idea that I don't think I heard any of us say at the end of this little diatribe. I love how Ben, I invited him on the show once to be a guest. He's like, I don't have anything to say. And then he writes, Homer's Iliad. He said in the personal...
I've seen this one, Yager. Let's talk about it. Go ahead.
Well, he's saying not all patients need such a comprehensive eval, and there are things that can do like motion cap, markerless motion cap. Like you don't need to. Like Xbox 360 camera. I remember when I was in PT school a decade ago, they're like, we can measure 27 joints in real time, power and force estimations, like good enough. But the second half of this thing is in the personal injury world, there are companies who come to your practice like this once every other week to do comprehensive measurements. It's billable and see like their Movique Health. You're in Vegas. There's a lot of dancers who get injured in Vegas. There's a lot of personal injury. There could be your estimate. There could be at least a side market, right? I love the ingenuity to try to solve a problem. I just don't know if it's a big enough problem for outpatient PT clinics. Average. Now, go to the fringes, personal injury, youth sports, something like that. Like, I don't know. That could be a better one.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Tony. I was just going to say, what's the cost of Run DNA and one of these markerless motion captures? Is it more than $12K a year? Because it's like, just get the technology yourself. Why would we ever do this?
Costs. I don't know what the Helix costs. Maybe I can look it up. I don't know.
Don't quote me. I want to say 17,000. It might be more. It might be less.
So you get it,
Plus, I think there's a monthly membership because there's the analysis software and stuff like that. Yeah. A lot of this equipment is expensive. It's not cheap. When you look at financing it, yes, you can make it a real business, but that's why I'm saying you're talking about changing the business model. If I purchase that system, amazing system, I am going into that line of business. I am selling that test as my primary revenue source. Go ahead.
I was going to say, and if you're not, you're making a shitty investment because now you're just buying something to sit in a corner. And like, my man, that's not a great idea.
There are plenty of therapists who will spend the money. I don't want to say waste the money. They will spend the money without monetizing the equipment just because they love gadgets and they love that kind of stuff. It makes them feel good. Real quick, I swear you're hitting all the things I've been thinking about. This morning, I was thinking about pelvic floor therapists. Jimmy said dancers in Vegas, which I imagine means strippers. And I was like, why don't we see a pelvic floor therapist who specializes in certain industries that require that kind of training? Like there are sports performance therapists, like golf therapists, football-based therapists. Why don't we have an OnlyFans focused therapist in this pelvic floor? There's some real opportunity there.
Listen, I've told you guys before, one of my dreams is I want to be the Mike Rowe of PT. I want to go dirty jobs. I will investigate this for you.
Floor dirty jobs, Mike.
I can hear them right now. There are specific therapists who work with on Broadway, high. I think I interviewed someone before who did Cirque du Soleil was her job.
Yeah, I remember her.
And I remember being like, what's normal range of, do you just take a goniometer and just throw it out the window? You're like, there's no normal here. These people are not even close to above average. They are bananas. So it is, it's an industry within an industry. Only gonies? I'm trying to think of what the OnlyFans, only gonies, only, I don't know, only MMTs. I'm not, there's got to be an industry. Your body's your money. Yeah. All right.
So, cool business, cool idea, but just like anything else, again, we've used this example. Who would have thought strangers were going to get in my car and pay me to give them a ride home from the bar? Who would have thought strangers would borrow or pay to rent my spare bedroom? We're saying it's basically a bad idea, but that doesn't mean anything. Yeah, it doesn't mean anything.
Did you see this? I'll find it. Somebody had the video of the guys that invented YouTube. They were like, all right, we're live.
Eating out.
And they were like, And they were like 2 hours later, they're like, we had 3 videos uploaded. And now, like, as I've said this sentence, like 4 million videos have been uploaded. It's like, yeah, you went in, like, Slack wasn't designed for Slack. It was designed for something else. So I think you have elements of some things. Maybe you just haven't found your home. I also like the kid behind it. Like, he's, I don't know. I keep calling him a kid because he's 10 years younger than me, but he is a
jockey, not the horse.
Yeah, bet I'm a jockey. All right. Who knows? Who knows who watches this show? That's them right there. I love the idea.
Give us some pushback. Give us some pushback in the comment section. Let us know. What are we getting wrong? What are we overlooking?
He's PRing. That's why I like this kid. Thanks for the great feedback. He appreciates it. I think they understand this. I think they've got, like, if you were Shark Tanking this, would be like, what are your numbers? They have some clinics buying in. So maybe they're seeing something. He loves, he's smart.
I mean, the greatest example in the profession is RTM is like free money just sitting out there. And yet therapists are not adopting it en masse. Like, how is that possible? Because anything that is a distraction, anything that takes even a moment of attention, anything that, very few clinicians in my experience are ever motivated by money.
Right.
And they're all about it. Short on time. What?
But they bitch about it.
Yeah.
Like, well, insurance company, like, we'll step over dollars to pick up dimes. Like, I'm very confused by this. I didn't think I said it yesterday on the conversation with Larry and John Childs and Tim Flynn. When I came into this profession, I was very, like, I get yelled at for going too fast in wherever I am, healthcare, whatever. I came from an industry where however fast you think Jimmy goes, I am slowing down. Like, you have to move faster. Like, the people who do break things, and I'm not saying go all the way, but like, try some things. And we are like, let's form a committee and let's do it. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what are we talking about? The ship is sinking, and we're like, is it though? Is it sinking left or right? I'm like, does not matter. Ship go down. Wear boat. Like, I don't know. I think move faster, and I like things like this because they're trying to just pressure test faster. So I think I like the energy and the emotion there. I also like games, and I like this game. We all played this. No one even ever needed to teach you how to play this game. Yes. Every kid comes hardwired with this game in their brain operating system. It is called The Floor is Lava, Medicare edition, the only balance training program where the ground is literally lava and your reimbursement depends on your patient's survival. We scatter foam pads across the clinic and let your 70-year-olds fight for their lives with flaming cones, unstable surfaces, and 2 e-stim pads stuck to their calves for motivation. Clinically inappropriate? Maybe. Hilarious? Always. Check it out on ESPN 8, The Ocho. The Floor is Lava, because balance training is more fun when it's life or fake. This is where all the...
Have you seen the TV show version of that?
Yes, hysterical.
Yeah, it's awesome.
But this is where it came from. So I think we have a group chat. This is how we get 98% of what we talk about on the show. And I was, doing something on Saturday or Sunday. And now is like the weird lull. I almost said the word. The super large football party. I'll get in trouble by whatever. The super large football party is this coming weekend. So this is the weekend between. I think the Pro Bowl happened, but like nobody watched the Pro Bowl. And there wasn't a lot on. And I'm like, what's on ESPN? And they had slippery stairs competition. It was a ballroom at like Disney World, right? Or the hotel. And there was a large staircase covered in latex, people using those like water guns to make them slip them up. And they had adult male, adult female, boy, girl competitions. It was an hour and a half of fake games. They had, what was it called? Extreme archery. So 2 people running around almost like a paintball course, firing like arrows, but they were like, Nerf tipped, but they were like legit. Like they were zipping. And like people were watching this, they had like an hour and a half of like the World Dodgeball Championship. And this is why we make fun of like ESPN, the Ocho, except their game is attention. Like I watched it because it was dumb. They had to put something on there and there was nobody playing, right? College football's over. College basketball wasn't on that time of day. So my question would be like, gosh, like what's the steal here? What do we steal from this? Which is, again, if we're in the attention business, like let's do some stuff. I don't know.
So high level, how can we steal this? Is they're putting a bunch of ridiculous stuff on ESPN, like cornhole and the Omega Soccer, the three goals face each other, and it's teams of like 4 or 5 guys, people, three teams against each other at the same time. They're just I shared it to you guys a while ago, months ago. They're just putting a bunch of stuff on TV, and they're hoping one of these things becomes Survivor or becomes, the Kardashians or whatever, right? Like they're just putting a ton of stuff on there. I'm sure there was a show for, I don't know, beer pong or what, just any type of game now. I mean, if the floor is lava, I had no idea. So this is a news break to me this morning. I didn't know that was a TV show. So that's brand new for me. But anything that ESPN or any of these other affiliates can try to put on TV that's even remotely similar to an in-person game that you play at tailgate or a party or used to play when you were a kid, it makes sense. They are literally testing in real time. They're kind of doing like Savannah Bananas, style testing, iterating, and they're hoping they're hoping one of these TV shows or games becomes like a Savannah Bananas.
Yeah. I mean, they understand that they're in the attention game, but they already have distribution. So now you're like, we got to put something with this is inventory. I looked at in radio and TV, 6 a.m. on a Saturday is inventory. I got to put something on the air. What is it? Because that's inventory. Tony, what were we going to say?
I don't remember. I think you were talking about, and I don't know why you don't want to say the name of the game. The big game coming up.
We used to joke in radio because in radio, if you did that, you could get sued by the NFL. So we would make all these ridiculous, like the Super Bowl promo gay, like it was just tongue in cheek.
So I mean, Victoria's Secret, didn't they used to have like the halftime show? Animal Channel used to have a halftime show. Why wouldn't you said ESPN has the distribution, but if you made something that people actually wanted to watch, Facebook will give you the distribution. YouTube will give you the distribution.
You have to earn it.
So with as much complaining as I see and hear about halftime shows and performers and people don't want to watch it, but they want to watch the game, I could totally see somebody coming up with their own thing from scratch, promote it as we're going to run this alternative halftime show, and then run it across the social media platforms. Because again, what do you have to lose? It is a lottery ticket that if it hits, you will just do, tremendous success.
I'm releasing 365 podcast episodes in 2026. I probably won't be doing one a day. I did 10 in one day from Graham Sessions last week. I decided, and this will land with most PTs, that the exercise principles, frequency, intensity, time, type, volume, and progression are also communication principles, frequency. I just decided to say, what if in 2026, I just hammered frequency and I went bananas? It costs me $0 extra dollars to launch a podcast episode. My time, my effort, it's all right. But I'm okay with it because everyone that I do might hit and bring me a client to work with. It already has. It just does. Us doing this ridiculous live stream for 2+ years. I mean, I can't wait till we do this with an ESPN style desk at CSM, and not that we get invited, that people are like, we'll pay you to sit at our booth, because right now our best strategy is drop 20 grand on a booth at CSM. I'm looking at you, every industry, every company that you're doing, you are this up. You spend 20 grand, you're in a meeting and you're like, I need 20 grand. Why? CSM. Great. No justification. What are you going to do when you get there? Stand? Pens? Stress balls? Oh, we're going to go on LinkedIn and we're going to mention 68 times. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? That's your strategy? That's signage. That is a good strategy if you want to tell people where the toilet is. Yes, the toilet is down and to the left, down and to the left. But your strategy for spending $20,000, $30,000 at a conference is, well, we're going to be there. Now we're in the room. We have a chance. Okay. How are you going to overcome the sea of sameness? I don't know. I'm going to do a lot at CSM this year. I'm going to be polished 6% of the time. Everything else is going to be run and gun. So here's my question. Now, I want to add some spice. Could we connect clinics in some way who are not financially related? CrossFit does it. Set up a game And then everybody watches the leaderboard, right? There it is. There's Hyrox. There's the lead. This month, we're doing these 3 things that can be performed in almost any clinic. Where's our people? And now it's a comp. Now we've gamified. Now we take a stab back at the Orange Theories. Dude, respect. I'm not crapping on Orange Theory. They're doing it well. CrossFit. How do we take ridiculous games and say, let's standardize them? And I'm using air quotes, but like something we could do in any clinic, but make it leave the clinic. Now there's a reason. I ride Peloton. I see a leaderboard while I'm riding, but I went on LinkedIn. I was like, who's riding Peloton? I need someone to fight with. I need someone to feel like I'm behind. And now I have a little like, what do you call it? Like a motivation group or a permissions group. And I see where I stack against these other PTs. And I'm like, all right, I don't really care about beating them. I want to make sure I'm not last. Like you don't got to outrun the grizzly bear. You just can't be last. You don't have to be first. So what if I throw that wrinkle in it? Is that a thing? Would we care? Does that help us make money? It's got to help us make money.
I think I love it. I'm thinking, like it's got me thinking about trivia. When you go to the bar, you go to BW3s or something like that.
It's passionate.
Can I put together a team of all-stars at Total Therapy Solution that competes against Dave's team? Right. Could we have like real-time analytics that are up on a TV screen, just like in the pub where you're doing trivia? It doesn't have to be synchronous. It doesn't have to be at the same time. We have performance metrics. And then, of course, you bring in a testing company like the guys that you were just talking about. And we're like, could we have this objective testing? So my kids run track. They go to the track meet. They all their timing and analytics is up. They're looking at what other kids in the state are doing.
Yes.
I think it brings your immediate community together, like Correct. A bowling team or a softball team. It gives you something to promote across social media. Hey, look what we just did. John just broke this record. There's a lot of opportunity in something like that.
I think the way to do it is TVs.
Yeah.
I think there needs to be a scoreboard. I need to know how close I was. I play those stupid games on LinkedIn every morning, and it shows me where I rank with the people that I'm connected to. And do I care? No. Yes, I do. I was like number 1 a couple days last week, and I was like, yeah, what's up? Of course I'm bragging about that. Dave?
I like Tony's idea. With these types of things, I always love him riffing first because he's so creative and outside the box. So the thing of what was the game we were just talking about? Like in bars, it's trivia, like a trivia night that they do.
Yeah.
So I wasn't even thinking the other step, Tony, of like then do Movique and do the movement diagnostic type component of this. What if it was just the first step, the first part you just mentioned, which is basically like the way that bars do trivia. They do that to get butts and seats. They do that to get people in the bar to buy more beer and maybe food if they have food. Just that across the country. If it's my practice for sure, your practice versus my practice and other practices online, anyone with movement impairments or whatever, now everyone is closer to the same playing field because it's just your cognitive recall of whatever, like it's just the trivia. It has nothing to do with physical therapy. Now, of course, there's some socialization and that could be beneficial, but it would help each of these clinics kind of improve their own, culture and morale and build like a community or a tribe. I'm trying to stay away from some of the buzzwords, but you could get some folks that, like, let's say I have 5 of our clients versus 5 of Tony's clients. And it doesn't matter if any of my clients are, they're in a walker or a wheelchair, or they're 25 years old and they are able to, run a half marathon. If it's just trivia, that's something that could be filmed. That could be content that it's not really anything to do with what we deliver in terms of like the service fulfillment side, but it would be content. And maybe the second thing would be like the movement Olympics or the Movique type of component of it, which then ties closer to the service, the core offering that we offer. Yeah. But what about even just the front end, just the trivia, the way that bars do it? And I don't know, like Jimmy, have you ever seen on YouTube, like, do bars ever film this, or is it usually never filmed? I feel like I've never seen content of trivia in a bar, like this team versus this team. And it's funny because every team names their own team like a funny, stupid name. And that's a joke or an inside joke or whatever.
I used to do a version of this called the bar exam where I would go with a recorder. This is pre-cameras and everything. I would meet someone. I meet Tony and like, I'm like, Tony, introduce yourself. And you can clearly hear how hammered he is. And then I'd have two people on the phone live as I'm playing this back. So I recorded Tony on Friday. Now it's Monday. And now I've got Dave and Steve on the phone. I'm like, all right, we're going to hear a clip of this guy I met on Friday. Here's Tony. And Tony's like, hey, what's up, guy? Woo! Now you've gauged how drunk he is. And then I would play a clip for Dave and Steve. Here's the question. You'd hear the question, and then you'd bet. I stole it from a TV show. I'd say, do you think Tony got that right or wrong? So I was able to bring the bar onto the radio in a way that it wasn't live and it was a game being played live. I like the movement aspect of it. Like I would make up, you could even just do like, I would stay away from like weight lifted. I would make it more repetition based because I want it to be accessible. You know what I mean? And then you steal a page out of the Olympics, the Senior Olympics, the Paralympics, the Special Olympics, like make it bracketable by ability level, age, gender, however you want to do it. And then you get somebody with a good coding degree or me with ChatGPT for probably 6 weeks, but you know, someone else smarter would get it done faster. And then you figure out a way to be like, okay, input that person's thing. And then it's constantly on the scroll. Why do you keep putting money in Miss Pac-Man? Because I want to put my 3 initials at the top of the list. We are big, dumb animals. We want to score well. I think the access is trivia or competition. How do I connect out of these walls? Why am I doing this? Is it to beat someone? Like I ride like a moron when there's someone close to me in Peloton. I blow up my entire workout to beat that person that I'll never see again. I'm like, but that's right. That's right. You're 3 points behind me. That's right. And I get off the bar. I get off the bike a little taller.
We'll have to think about it, but I definitely think, you know, like you said, you can make this a cognitive game. You can make it a physical game. You could just bring games. Like I bought a cornhole set years ago for my shoulder patients because I wanted them doing like a version of a pendulum, throwing a cornhole bag. There are so many things that we could do with it. And then we're just talking outpatient ortho because that's our world. The stuff that I see neuro doing, outpatient neuro, is just phenomenal. And, you know, you set up the overhead system so that they can't fall because they have the harness on. You just build your own obstacle course kind of stuff. You know, there is so much that's out there. But like you said, you have the leader, you have the scoreboard, you make it interactive, you have the big TV.
So you'd have to be a way for us to see it. I would think like some sort of live stream or website that all you'd have to do is put like a USB into a TV and then go to a website and it just does the thing, right? This is also, have you guys ever seen the Chive, the TV channel, the Chive? Oh, this is brilliant. You go into a sports bar at noon on a Tuesday and it's playing like, you know, there's 78 screens, but what's on? Like you're just watching.
Oh, you mentioned this before.
Chive is essentially America's funniest home videos, like just wrap it, but just of like sports, dirt bikes, fails, not fails, hockey shots. Like they just group, it's a clip show. It's ridiculousness 24 hours a day. Now, there's some sort of agreement. I'd have to look into it. The bar gets to like insert their own commercials. Now you're part of the Chive. Number one, you get to play it. That's our content. You can't just play it. So we're going to give that to you. Something to put on the screens. Chive is making their money because they get to insert their own ads. And then they're like, oh, just drag and drop your ad here, or we'll make it for you, whatever. Then you get your own. So it's like you have the personalized television. That's what you would need. You would need something like that. Maybe it's not clips all the time, but hey, why wouldn't you? Now there would also need to be an easy interface, stupidly easy, for Tony or Dave when their patient did the 60-second sit to stand challenge to just be like, Tony, this clinic, this patient name, if they want to use their name or fake name, and this many reps, enter, and now it computes where that person stands. It would need to be dumb easy for the clinician to get their patient on the board.
So rolling this together, and I know we're getting close to the hour, what if we set up a situation where we know that live sports is probably one of the few times people will watch live TV. Nobody wants to record a game and watch it later to cut out commercials. We know that here everybody's watching the Reds, right? During baseball season, we're all watching the Reds. We're all going to see the same commercials at the same time. What if local physical therapy clinics created an alternative network so that when the Reds cut to commercial, people bring out their phones anyway. I'm watching the Reds on TV, commercial hits, I grab my phone and go to social media. We have a network of content that plays live during the commercial between, innings at the Reds game or whatever. You bring that into the Super Bowl. Obviously, if you don't want to watch, I know Super Bowl, you want to watch the commercials, but like, what if we can tie in some sort of live media where we deliver our content specifically timed to when the TV networks cut to commercials that people don't want to watch, but that they could watch on their cell phones, on their mobile devices, things like that.
I used to listen to my competitors, and then later on in my radio career, I would have my interns listen to competitors and write down in a notebook and try to figure out my competition locally, their clock.
Right.
Clock meaning what that radio station do, like, oh, we start the hour and we play 2 songs and we go to commercial. We play 3 songs and we go to commercial. I would always try to not be in commercial when they were in commercial. And if they weren't, I was close. I'm like, then I'm going to be this. I'll push for half. I was playing those games, dude. I was like, you will listen to them for 5 hours and you tell me exactly when they break every time. So yes, timing, frequency, intensity, time, type, volume, progression. Time is one of them. The when is important as well.
There used to be a TV network, I can't remember, that started their shows at the 5-minute mark.
Yes.
Because you would be able to see what the other shows were, and then you would go to them, and their show hadn't started yet.
You remember how long show intros used to be? Like the intro for like Family Matters used to be like 90 seconds. Now you get a cold open, like it just starts mid sentence in like Modern Family. It's like Phil falling down the stairs. You're hooked. Then they give you the first like LOL, the giggle. Then they hit you with like a 12-second Family Matters montage, and we're back into the story because they understand sunk cost fallacy. If I'm already 8 minutes in, I've missed who killed the person in Law and Order. I missed it. All right, well, that's why the murder happens in the first 90 seconds of Law and Order. Now it's the whole 98% of the rest of it is who done it. These are all principles we have to compete on now.
Let's tease a future episode. We've talked about the hook and all that stuff for marketing. What about for the treatment? What about the minute the patient walks in the door for a treatment, we open with a hook for the treatment session. And then we go through the psychology just like we would run an ad, but we do it for a treatment session. We should do that.
We took Jenna Hoyos, who's the girl that Mr. Beast has said can make any clip go viral. You take Jenna Hoyos, and she's given away the formula, and people still ignore it. I run it through that filter when I've created my videos. You see the video I sent you guys with the dude with the 6-pack and the ring light?
Yeah.
I use the formula for that, which is you have to hook me. I see PTs online now turning the cameras to themselves a lot. I love this. And the first 10 seconds are, hi, I'm Troy McClure, and I have 11 certifications, and I live in France, and I live in Kansas. And I'm like, boop, they're gone, bro. They're gone. Maybe do that later or do that as a lower third graphic. Why? Because it doesn't matter. So yeah, what if we mimicked a hook? What if we mimicked the psychology of a piece of viral content of a treatment plan? That is a side-by-side. Okay, wait, we'll do parting shots, but we are getting fined by the NFL. Ooh, the commissioner just called because Tony said the S word. You said instead of the big super game, football game. We do want to make sure we can now pay for that fine with our sponsor, TheraBand Credit Union, the only financial institution for rehab professionals who financed one too many CEUs. At the TheraBand Credit Union, we understand your pain. That's why we offer flexible, get it, loan options in light, medium, and extra heavy resistance. Whether you're opening a clinic, buying a second Shockwave machine, or just trying to survive Q4 payroll, we stretch your money like you stretch your hamstrings. TheraBand Credit Union, stretching your dollars and your shoulders. Parting shots. What do we got?
Dave, what you got?
Man, I think more creativity is needed in the physical therapy world to, on the front end, start with how can we all as practice owners and clinics get attention even before marketing. I've been so focused on marketing for the past 5 or 10 years that I I'm now transitioning a little bit more to different ideas and testing things around attention, and more of that to come. And what we were just talking about is really about attention first, and then everything else flows after that.
Agreed. You're in the attention business. The next time, if I ever have a 9 to 5 again, my title will be Director of the Attention Department. That's what I want to work in. I don't want to work in the marketing department anymore.
Chief Attention Officer.
Chief Attention Up. CAO.
Cow.
I like
a cow.
Okay, pull that comment back up. Parting shot. So Movik says PT is the movement profession, yet movement still lacks standardized diagnostic infrastructure. Totally true. Totally true. The only thing I would question is, does it matter? Honestly, like, does it matter? We all talk about, posture. Posture used to be the biggest thing. Now it doesn't matter. We used to talk about technique. Used to be the biggest thing. Now it doesn't matter. Tell us why a standardized diagnostic matters, because people are going to move differently. And so that's, I think, what matters. That's my parting shot.
Yeah. Can you pay, like, is it worth their time or money? If you're saving me time, making me money, or solving a problem that you can clearly define, like, that's good. I'm going to second Dave's parting shot. Mine was also that, which is like, move fast, break things. Like, you need to be creative. We are getting more and more competitive. This will not change. This will only increase. So you need to figure out how you can gain attention first. The letters after your name are after your name for a reason, because they don't matter that much. We'll be back on Thursday. Maybe we'll do that Jenna Hoyos parallel side by side. I'll work on that now. And I'll see a lot of you at CSM next week. I'll be at the U.S. Physical Therapy booth doing a live stream. You can heckle me and throw things at me while we're live. All right, guys, we'll see you later.
Hey, it's Dave Kittle. Are you a healthcare business owner or physical therapy practice owner who is looking to figure out your succession plan or exit strategy? We might be able to help. And in fact, we may be interested in acquiring your practice. If you're interested, you can reach out to me. Shoot me an email at dave@conciergepainrelief.com. That's DAVE@CONCIERGE painrelief.com. Or you can call me at any time, 646-781-8884.